Hi you guys. Today we're going to read the book The Code. Okay? This code is going to help us learn about the different types of characteristics that we have. Different but similar. If you look at people around you, you'll observe that no two people are exactly the same. All those differences between us are called variation. So variation is how we look different, okay? So my skin color, hair color, eye color, how tall I am, how short I am, and how I might behave is different. But you'll also observe that people are the same in many ways. We share many of the same characteristics. We have lots of hair on our heads, but not on our noses. We have two eyes that face forward. We have hands that can pick things up. We talk to each other and live in groups. It's easy to tell we are all the same species. Where do we get our characteristics? Inherited characteristics. Those are the things that come to us from our moms and dads. Okay? You get some from your mom and some from your dad. Many of our characteristics are passed down to us by our birth parents. Everybody has birth parents. Sometimes the people who raise us are our birth parents. Sometimes we're raised by other people. Even if we never meet our birth parents, they have passed down our characteristics to us. Characteristics we inherit from our birth parents are called inherited characteristics. Inherited characteristics include our hair color, our eye color, how tall we are, the shape of our nose. They also include characteristics that all people share, such as having an eyes, a nose, a mouth. These inherited characteristics are passed down through a code. All of these inherited characteristics are called traits. The code. You are made up of about 2 trillion tiny cells. Inside almost every one of those cells is your code. The code isn't in writing. It's not like anything you would find in a book. It's too small to see except with special tools. The code is made of genes. These genes are instructions for how to make your body. Even before you were born, your genes told your body how to grow. Your genes told your body what color to make your eyes and hair, and what shape to make your nose. It all came of your inherited characteristics. All came from the genes in your code. Your body makes new cells all the time. Every time your body makes new cells, it makes new copies of your genes too. Every copy of your genes has instructions on how to make your whole body. And here is a picture of a cell. And inside that cell, in that tiny little circle, is your DNA. That's the code. Where you got your genes. One cell from your birth mother and one cell from your birth father came together to make you. The cell from your father had some of your father's genes in it, and the cell from your mother had some of your mother's genes in it. These two cells combined to make one new cell with genes from both parents. Every cell in your body grew from that original cell. Each new cell had a copy of genes you got from your parents. This helps us understand why babies often look like their birth parents. A baby inherits genes and inherited characteristics from both parents. But the baby doesn't necessarily look like a perfect combination of its mother and father. The code is not that simple. Sometimes a person looks like sometimes a person looks more like one parent than the other. Here's a picture of a mom and a dad and their son. You inherit genes from your grandparents. What? The genes from your birth parents passed down to you had to come from somewhere. Your birth parents inherited genes from their birth parents, your grandparents. And your parents' parents inherited genes from their parents. And so on. This has been happening the whole time people have been around. Parts of your code come from every generation that came before you. Your genes from your parents and your grandparents and your great-grandparents and your great-great-grandparents and so on. Through these genes, you have inherited characteristics from them too. For example, my mom and dad both have brown eyes, but I have green eyes. Green eyes are on both sides of my mom and dad's family, and that's how I got green eyes. You have genes in common with everyone who is related to you. Your whole family has genes in common. You also have genes in common with every person living on Earth. We have all inherited some of the genes from people who lived long ago. The genes have been passed down from generation to generation throughout history. That's what makes us all similar. Ooh. Why aren't we all the same? Our genes make us similar in many ways, but we are also different from one another. One reason we are different is that the genes we get from our parents can't be combined in so many ways. One reason we are different is that we get genes from our parents can be combined in so many different ways. The combinations change every time a new person is born. And each one of us is born with a few genes that are different from either of our birth parents' genes. A new mix of genes gives each person their unique characteristics. They are different from the characteristics of the person's parents, grandparents, and all the people who have lived before us. Identical twins have genes that are the same. But what if two people have genes that are the same? Identical twins inherit the same genes and the same characteristics, but that doesn't make them the same person. People who are closely related, even identical twins, may still be very different. Genes are not the only things that make people different. Acquired characteristics. What else helps you make you who you are? After you are born, you have experiences. You do things and things happen to you. Sometimes experiences give you new characteristics. You may have short hair because of a haircut. You may exercise and build up your muscles. You may have a broken bone or a scar from a bad cut. These new characteristics are called acquired characteristics, like learning to play football, or learning to read, or ride a bike, or speak a variety of languages. Acquired means you learn how to do them. Scars, short hair, big muscles, all acquired characteristics. These are not in your genes. These are things that you learn to do. You were not born knowing how to read. That's something you had to learn. Knowing how to read is an acquired characteristic. Playing baseball is an acquired characteristic. If you have birth children someday, they will inherit some of your genes. They may have characteristics of the same inherited characteristics as you do, but you can never pass down your acquired characteristics through your genes. Your children could never inherit a broken arm or a sunburn or your haircut. You may know how to ride a bike and read a book, but your children can't inherit that knowledge. Someone would have to teach them. Identical twins do and like different things. They have different acquired characteristics. Some scientists study how genes and experiences make us who we are. They figure out which characteristics are acquired and which are inherited. Identical twins, even though they are born with the same genes, may be different because they have different experiences. They will learn different things and different things will happen to them. So if you look at some of these pictures, they show a set of identical twins, Lily and Rose. One likes to do track and one likes to play guitar. One had an accident and she's now wheelchair bound, and the other one didn't have that accident, so she's able to move around independently by walking. Look at yourself in a mirror. Some of the characteristics you can observe are inherited, such as eye color and the shape of your face. You were born with these. What inherited characteristics can you observe when you look at yourself? Other characteristics, such as a haircut or a scar, come from experiences. These are acquired. What acquired characteristics can you observe? The code is absolutely everywhere. It's in all living things. Thanks for reading this book with me. More from me later.